وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وزكريا إذ نادى ربه رب لا تذرني فردا وأنت خير الوارثين فاستجبنا له ووهبنا له يحيى وأصلحنا له زوجه إنهم كانوا يسارعون في الخيرات ويدعوننا رغبا ورهبا وكانوا لنا خاشعين والتي أحصنت فرجها فنفخنا فيها من روحنا وجعلناها وابنها آية للعالمين إن هذه أمتكم أمة واحدة وأنا ربكم فاعبدون صدق الله العظيم وبلغنا رسوله النبي الكريم ونحن على ذلك من الشاهدين والشاكرين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Surah Ambiya. Remember Zakaria. Remember Zakaria. إذ نادى ربه, when he called his Lord. Rabbi, my Lord, la tadarni, do not leave me farda, alone. Wa anta khairul warithin, and you are the best of inheritors. So Zakaria alayhi salam prayed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when he was old and his wife was old and childless, that Ya Allah, give me, do not leave me alone, which means that Ya Allah, give me a child. So to ask for, to make dua for offsprings, for children, that's a sunnah of Ambiya. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He is telling us that He listened to such people, then therein is encouragement that we should seek awlad or children from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But we should also keep in mind, as Hazrat Zakaria alayhi salam said, and as Allah has quoted him in the Quran, وَأَنْتَ خَيْرُ الْوَارِثِينَ, you are the best of inheritors. So a warith is someone who becomes a descendant or an inheritor after a father. And children have this role in our life, that they become a source and a cause of the continuation of our journey in our bloodline. And they take up, if they are salih, if they are good children, then they take up the job of their father. But the real inheritor, the real one who is there and takes care of our affairs before us, after us, when we are alive or after we are gone, is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone. And He is the real goal. So one should keep that in mind, and with that in mind, one should ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for children. Our Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam has said that do nikah, more or less meaning, and seek through nikah what Allah has written for you, in terms of course, children. فَاسْتَجَبْنَا لَهُ, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that we responded to him. وَوَهَبْنَا لَهُ يَحْيَى, and we gave him Yahya. This word wahab is where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives something without deserving. It is only an act of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. A person does not earn it. It's in contrast to kasb, that somebody earns something, that's kasb. But when it's so called hiba or wahabna, that we gave him as hiba, it was solely from us. He had no earning in this part. وَوَهَبْنَا لَهُ Yahya, we gave him Yahya. وَأَصْلَحْنَا لَهُ زَوْجَهُ, and we made his wife good for him. So what that means is that although his wife was such that could not bear children, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made her such that she could bear a child. From this, Hazrat Hakim al-Ummat has written that when somebody asks Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for a dua, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sometimes gives without means, and sometimes Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala creates the means and then gives them something. And both are the shan of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, both are the status and the honor in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. إِنَّهُمْ كَانُوا يُسَارِعُونَ فِي الْخَيْرَاتِ وَيَدْعُونَنَا رَغَبًا وَرَهَبًا. All these Anbiya that have been mentioned, they used to race towards the good deeds and call us with hope and fear. وَيَدْعُونَنَا رَغَبًا وَرَهَبًا. So all of these people had Zakaria, Hazrat Yahya, Hazrat Yunus, Hazrat Ayyub, had Ismail, had Idris, Hazrat Al-Kifl, Hazrat Nuh, Hazrat Sulaiman, Hazrat Dawood. All of these people, they used to run towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and make haste in good deeds. And this is what we should do as well, that whenever we have this in our mind, or whenever the da'iyah, whenever the from within we have this call from within that we should do some good deed, then we should not delay it, lest that da'iyah or that thought, that energy goes away and then we fail to do that good deed. وَيَدْعُونَنَا رَغَبًا وَرَهَبًا, and they called us with hope and fear. And this is, in the words of the Prophet ﷺ, the true state of a mu'min, that they are always between fear and hope. Fear of, in the words of my Shaykh, fear of losing Allah forever, and the hope of finally being able to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the hope is that I will do good deeds, Allah will accept and Allah will reward me. And the fear is that lest I do something that makes my Allah displeased with me, or the fear of disobeying and sinning to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or the honor and the awe of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Another meaning is that in times of happiness, in times of plenty, they used to run towards us, they used to call upon us. And in times of hardship, they still, in times of fear and pressure and stress, they still called after us. وَكَانُوا لَنَا خَاشِعِينَ, and they were humble to us. One great quality of Ambiya and the good people of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is that no matter how big of a challenge they go through, no matter how big of a test they go through, no matter how big of a great deed they do to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they always remain humble to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They say with their actions that, Ya Allah, whatever we are doing, it is basically, they declare it, that Ya Allah, it is because of your tawfiq. You gave us the wealth that we spent. Ya Allah, you gave us the energy that we spent. Ya Allah, you gave us the capacity, the ability, mental, intellectual, or whatever, physical, we spent in your path. Or Ya Allah, you gave us the life and we laid it down in your path. So there is nothing that we can, we have no claim to honor. We always remain humble to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Hazrat Zakaria, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him a son by creating means. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him a son, and before that he made his zawj, his wife, such that Allah gave her the capacity to bear a child. وَالَّتِي أَحْصَنَتْ فَرْجَهَا, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala now talks about, so this was the mention of Ambiya. Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning a woman separately. She was not a Nabi, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning her with Ambiya. And the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning her is وَالَّتِي أَحْصَنَتْ فَرْجَهَا, that woman who protected her private parts. So protection and saving your private parts is such a great act that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning her Sayyida Maryam Bibi alayhi salam with the Ambiya, after the Ambiya. وَالَّتِي أَحْصَنَتْ فَرْجَهَا فَنَفَخْنَا فِيهَا مِنْ رُوحِنَا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us that this woman, Bibi Maryam alayhi salam, she protected her private parts both ways, from any illicit relationship as well, and also she did not do nikah either. فَنَفَخْنَا فِيهَا مِنْ رُوحِنَا, so we blew in her a life through our spirit. And that means that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created and blew a special spirit into her from Allah's own side. It did not go through the regular process of procreation. وَجَعَلْنَاهَا وَابْنَهَا آيَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ, and thus Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that we made her and her son a sign for the worlds. إِنَّ هَذِهِ أُمَّتُكُمْ أُمَّةً وَاحِدَةً. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is addressing the kuffar and all humanity, that this is the fraternity of your faith. The Muslims, the fraternity that has always been Muslims, that have always submitted to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is one ummah. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is not bringing anything new in matter of belief. Inna hadihi ummatukum ummatun wahida. This is the fraternity of your faith, of a single faith. Wa ana rabbukum, and the one teaching of this whole fraternity of all Anbiya is that wa ana rabbukum, I am your Lord, fa'budun, so worship me. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us the understanding of Quran. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us among the people of Quran who are the great and special ones to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه سيدنا مولانا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين آمين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. So what I wanted to mention with Hazrat Maryam alayhi salam was that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has both ways of giving. Hazrat Zakaria alayhi salam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave through means. Hazrat Maryam alayhi salam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave without means. That the regular means of procreation, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bypassed all of that and gave her directly. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives in both ways when we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم.